yet live.
Well, welcome here to Bello Field on the campus of Tufts University. It is time to honor the class of 2025, and what a class it has been. When you look at this class, it'll go down likely as the greatest in the history of this program. We actually have a lovely graphic to just show you how good this class of 2025 has been. An 818 winning percentage, the most wins, 63, by a graduating class in program history, including 4 trips to the NESCAC tournament, 3 to the NCAA Elite Eight, program records in goals, assists, ground balls, and I think the most obscene stat, Marcus, 417 starts made amongst this senior class.
Wow, an incredible stat. I don't know how you found that, but
A lot of counting would be the answer to that question. We are here on the lovely warm field of Bello as we begin the senior day festivities here, and it'll begin with Bella Monteleone, the senior defender from New York City. And so it's really an honor to be here on senior day for a class that has been just so instrumental. When you look at classes that will go down in the history, this one will be on the top. You look at some of the players on this as Bella Monteleone, the senior from New York City, finally walks out here. This is going to be probably the greatest of all time. I mean, Bella hasn't had a ton of experience, but she's played 32 games, started 2, and had a really unique experience 2 years ago at Washington Elite where she had to play head-to-head against her sister. As now it'll be Ella L'Esperance, the senior from Wayland, the local kid, coming out. She, another superstar, Marcus, with the school points record for points in a year with 92 last year. And she's only now 12 points away from becoming the 11th ever jumbo to cross the 200-point plateau. So someone who is very, very instrumental, but I don't think you can talk about instrumental jumbos and not mention the one who's up next, Jenna Gibbons, who has been, well, there's good, and there's great, and then there's whatever Jenna Gibbons is from the draw circle. And it takes a lot to be a draw specialist. It especially takes a lot when you move from being a midfielder to a defender and become the best draw specialist in the country. Emma Yale now going to step up here from Windham, Maine. Has not had a ton of play time, but really influential leader of this team on the IWCLA academic honor roll, and has a younger brother, Evan, who's going to play next year at Lynchburg. Next up will be Caroline Cromwell, another local kid from Chestnut Hill. She knows the marathon route quite well, which they will run in 2 days. And she has really been an influential figure on this team. As you can see, her little family members out with her, stepped up, become a starter last year, started 23 consecutive games. And here is the one you're most familiar hearing me say. That's Margie Carden, the program record for pretty much everything related to goals. 34-plus goal games in her career, has started all 78 games, including today. 3-time All-NESCAC player, 3-time All-American, someone who this program will very much miss. Next up will be Caroline Conahan, the captain from Chevy Chase, sitting on 96 career goals and has historically played well against Amherst. With a good day today, could find herself joining the 100 goal club, and she's joined with her family members and including her sister, who was a captain on the Yale Lacrosse team last year. And of course here, next will be the goalie and really the rock of this team in Pascal DeBuren, who stepped up into that goalie spot that was left when Courtney Kaufman went to Duke 2 years ago and has been nothing short of sensational, following in the path set by the Liberty and Kaufman. 213 career saves, a 28-7 career record. And I have a feeling that 28 number is just going to continue to grow over the next couple of weeks. Next up will be Maddie Carest, the senior from Dallas. The one who actually taught me that they do play lacrosse down in Texas, Marcus. And she has 7 goals in 17 career games. Has been a real influential leader in the locker room. Talking to some of the other seniors, they talk about Maddie as a source of inspiration after tough games, someone they really rely on. Another player this Jumbo's team relies on is the tallest senior of the bunch, Kate Mastrobuono. She won the 2021 D2 MA State Lacrosse Championship at Dover Sherborne, then came here to play with the Jumbos, and has really been so good as a distributor. 11 assists on the year, a career high. And the last one is probably the most influential story of them all. Catherine Fernandopoulos, the two-time All-American who walked onto this program 3 years ago from Cambridge. Her sister, who's with her, Gabrielle, has another unique story. She went to Harvard, started every game on their lacrosse team as a freshman, then decided this isn't for me, walked onto their rugby team, and won a national title game, which really shows with the Fernandopoulos family, you can't put anything above them. They can do whatever they set their mind to, and really, that has been the story for this class of 2025. They've set their mind to a lot of things, and they've achieved every goal but one. There is only one box left to check off on the resume, and that is to put a national title banner up on the wall here at Bello. And Marcus, as we get set for this game, this class of 2025, and really this entire Jumbo's team, looks better than they've ever looked at any point this year. They're coming off their first loss of the year in what was a hard-fought game at Middlebury, but it almost feels like they're okay with the way that went, because I think for the first time playing against Middlebury in their careers, they didn't feel overmatched. They felt like they belonged with the 64-game consecutive winners step for step.
Incredible competition in that game. It's really hard to step up against Middlebury, who's a historical winner in a lot of different areas. They've got talent in all parts of the field, and it's hard to compete with that. But this senior class, I mean, they've been playing together for what, 4 years almost now? You can't really beat chemistry like that. And I think I'm really, really excited to see how they'll be able to sort of predict their positioning on the field and sort of feel each other on the field, and have a sense for where everyone fits in on this field as a Tufts Jumbo, and especially as a senior.
I'm interested to see what Courtney Shute does with the starting lineup today. Obviously, I don't think she's going to change much to her normal rotation, but with 11 seniors, it does beg the question, does she start the entire senior squad today?
I sure hope she does.
It would be nice to see. I have not been able to see a starting. I can maybe go look, see if I can get a starting lineup here.
I'm not sure if we have every position filled out with the senior class, do we?
I don't know, but I almost wonder if she'd be willing to do it, risk it for 30 seconds, just to let every senior start on senior day.
That's true, but Amherst you can't let them get ahead at the beginning.
You cannot. We're going to find out momentarily here. Starting lineup about to be announced for the Jumbos. And the answer is no. They're going to stick with the normal starting lineup. Nicola Donlin going to lead it off. Madeline Delaney, of course, she was here on senior day a year ago, was so influential on this team for the last 4 years. And of course, we probably should give credence to those grad students. They weren't honored in the senior day festivities, but they've been here longer than the class of 2025. They made it to 2 national title games, and they really have been mainstays in this rotation. At least Delaney and Joyce have for the last 4 years. Nicola Summers has been in the 2 years she's been on the team. So with these seniors and these grad students, I mean, this is it, Marcus. You talk about a team that's built to win now. There isn't going to be one that's more of a team built to win now than this 2025 Tufts team.
It makes me wonder who else is going to stay for a grad year next year, though.
I think it's interesting because what's interesting is Joyce, Delaney, Summers, they all had the extra year of eligibility because of COVID. This current class of seniors doesn't have that, so they will have all used their 4 years of eligibility here at Tufts after this year. So this is going to really be a much different team next year, which is, I think, when I've talked to some of the members of this team, what makes this year so important, because this is their chance. They don't get another redo. They get a number on a banner, or they get regret.
I see what you're saying. There's a lot of pressure with that. There is a lot of pressure on their shoulders because they have such a talented squad and an old squad as well.
We're going to step aside for the national anthem. When we come back, opening draw live from Bello. Welcome back here to Bello. The senior class telling us we're not just the home of the brave, we're the home of the bows here in Medford as we get set for the opening draw. And I think that's one place, Marcus, when I was looking at these two teams where I saw a sizable difference. The Jumbos at 68% on the draw, Amherst only at 58%. But then we were talking yesterday when we were getting ready for this game, and there is another spot that I think there's a big gap between what the Jumbos can do and what the Amherst Mammoths can do, and that's with balls that end up on the ground.
Yeah, a lot of ground balls. Not too many ground balls picked up by the Amherst Mammoths, though, if I recall correctly.
48%, the only team in the NESCAC below 50% of ground balls picked up. So they're definitely not exactly leading the class in that category. But on the other hand, they play a really unique style of play in that they are so much slower than the Jumbos. You'll watch, you'll see Amherst will take 70, 75 seconds on every possession. The Jumbos might take 17.
Interesting. I also think the difference in their timing might be from their clearing successes. I know Tufts is number one in Division III lacrosse for successful clears. And so with momentum coming from a clear, it's easy to score quickly. So Amherst might just have their possessions come in a slow manner because their clear comes in a slower and less successful trend.
That is definitely a factor. This has been a historically very even matchup. I mean, this is an Amherst team with a lot of pedigree, but on the other side, they haven't beaten the Jumbos since 2022. So looking to change that here today.
Right. Last game we saw Tufts win 17-12, I believe, in this last competition or last time these two teams met. And Tufts has won 4 out of the 5 last years that these teams have met. So Amherst hopefully looking to change that pattern.
Yeah, it is definitely. I mean, you look at the pattern, and obviously these two teams have played really competitively. You know the last time there was a double-digit victory in this matchup?
When was that, Riley?
April 1989, also known as before every single one of the players on this field was born.
Wow. Quite a long time ago.
Jenna Gibbons set for the opening draw as we begin senior day here on Bello, and that one scooped up there by Mia Raven, last year's NESCAC Rookie of the Year.
No surprise that we're seeing Mia Raven stand out in the field already.
No question about that whatsoever. She's been very good on the year. 18 goals, 7 assists. And immediately the Jumbos send Fernanda Pola to go deal with her.
I know this Amherst team is pretty successful with their solo goals. They don't have a lot of assists compared to Tufts. And so if they can keep Fernanda Pola, if Tufts can keep Fernanda Pola on their best players, the Amherst Mammoths will have some trouble.
Jumbo's in a zone here early on. And a shooting space call going to be given to Mia Raven. Going to be from a tight angle there on the right side. We'll see if she looks to shoot this or pass it. Going to pass it, and it's in the back of the net there. Put in weak side by Bridget Finley.
So long for that slow offense.
Yeah, just a little bit of a hesitation to slide to the back post there from Fernanda Pola. Bridget Finley, who's been so good on the year, gets goal number 30. And the Mammoths get an early lead here. Very reminiscent of the matchup these two teams had 2 years ago here on Bello. Amherst went up 2-0 within 90 seconds in that game before the Jumbos finally woke up. They're trying not to have that happen again here today. And 2 for 2 for Mia Raven. 2 draw wins already for Elizabeth Rose.
Jenna Gibbons is not using her height in these draws, so I'm a little surprised.
It is a point, Marcus. She's so good at using her height. When it's your 6'1" on a draw circle, everything's easier for you. But Elizabeth Rose does do a little bit to negate that strategy. She's 6 flat herself.
So it's an even matchup then.
I don't know about that. Jenna Gibbons has some hops. Worked at the X here by Sydney Kang. Inside feed, blown up, and I think a card might be coming. Looks like it's just going to be a free position. We'll see where they spot this. I think the Jumbos might have caught in a break. They're going to put this, I believe, on the left hash here for Emily Peterson. Has 11 free position goals on 24 attempts this year. Make it 12 for 25, and then just like 2 years ago, Amherst up 2-0 within 90 seconds.
Yeah, Amherst is actually great at gaining these free positions. We see Amherst having 44 free positions compared to their opponent's 24, so they don't give up a lot of free position shots, and they certainly draw plenty of them.
And an interesting spot here for the Jumbos. Have not trailed by multiple goals to anyone but Middlebury this year. Be interested to see how much Courtney Shute lets this go before thinking about a timeout and just resetting the team mentally. Got to be a lot of adrenaline pumping here on senior day. This time, Gibbons goes low and scoops it herself. Jumbo's going to look to run. Delaney, 5-on-4 if they go. Slams on the brakes, and the Jumbos will get the settled set going. Here's Zorn. She's been historically good against Amherst. Has scored in her 3 matchups against the Mammoths. Here she is on the X. Up top, that's L'Esperance. Now shut in some space. Works at Conahan, who dropped the pass. And an unforced turnover. Outlet pass into Clara Sosa. She's running against Gibbons. And thrown away. Who's going to get on the end of it? The answer is the All-American, Fernanda Pole. And then she gets tripped up. Interesting there was no green card there. Conahan skies to catch the pass, but too far for Gibbons. And
we're not seeing that famous clear from Tufts quite yet.
No, we're not. And, I mean, I think you're seeing in real time the adrenaline pumping a little too hard. See what the Jumbo Ride can do. Ahead here to Rachel Rogers. Amherst has gotten themselves 3 position looks. Both their first 2 possessions offensively. See if the Jumbos can be a little bit more disciplined on possession number 3. Rogers with the roll, works it to the X. Skip pass over everyone. And that's picked up there by Conahan. Jumbos with numbers. Conahan flying. Has L'Esperance left instead. Zorn. Extra pass L'Esperance. Save. And the rebound scooped up.
Wow, incredible stand-up save from the Amherst goalkeeper there.
Great job there from Samoska. Didn't get fooled by the eyes of L'Esperance. Stayed with the ball and right the whole way.
Samoska had to turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right just to map that ball out. And she stepped forward and really just put her stick out and shoved it into the attacker's face.
High intensity game early on. Rogers skip pass. And a questionable shooting space call. Another free position opportunity for Peterson here. Cuts inside. Missed the angle, and the Jumbos back it up. Whoa! Oh, man, that's a blown call. Even from 50 yards away, I could tell you that Caroline Cromwell was closer to that ball.
Perhaps the adrenaline is running for the referees as well.
Could imagine. These 2 teams historically do not particularly like each other. Sosa. Around the horn to Peterson. Little 2-woman game. Sosa draws Joyce inside lob. Peterson catches, shoots, scores. 3-0 Amherst.
Splitting a double team with that pass. That was impressive.
And you have to wonder what the response is here from the Jumbos. I mean, this is a senior class. Well, actually, I can tell you what the response is. It's that Courtney Schute's going to call a timeout. because this is really uncharted territory for the Jumbos. Have not trailed 3-0 on Bello this senior class ever. So they need to figure out what the problem is and solve it rather quickly.
Any game against Tufts Jumbos is a big game if you're an opponent. And so I'm not surprised that Amherst has come out swinging. This is one of their most important games of the season. I mean, one of the most competitive at least. And so I'm not surprised that they've come out hot.
I mean, I kind of agree with you on one sense, but in other sense, this is a team that lost in New London on Wednesday.
True, true. And their goals have been generated through mostly free position opportunities.
Yeah, I do think that is a major factor. The Jumbos' discipline hasn't been great. Got a couple questionable calls against them. That Fernanda Pole free position conceded. Don't know how much she knew about that one. And then that backup call, which, I mean, Marcus, you could see from here. Cromwell was closer to that ball.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
But I think if there's any team that knows how to mentally respond, it is this Jumbos team. They've been here time and again, and they know they have what it takes to score 20, 25 goals in a game.
Oh, no doubt.
They just need to start possessing the ball a little bit more. I mean, for lack of a better word, their first 2 offensive possessions have been nothing short of sloppy.
Sloppy, rushed, and nervous.
The dictionary of words you don't normally use to describe the Jumbos.
But a face-off win here could completely alter that.
If I'm Jenna Gibbons, I think I'd change my strategy here to try to move the ball side to side. Elizabeth Rose is wearing a brace, so if you can get the ball moving laterally, odds are you're going to beat her for pace and turn it into a 3-on-2 fight for the ground ball. And that's exactly what Gibbons does. Margie Carden gets her first touch of the day. Gonahan runs the X. Skips it up top. Joyce draws the double inside behind Delaney. Shutt able to use her body to get the ball. Spins through 2. Amherst is caught out here. But instead, Joyce decides to slow things down. L'Esperance bounces it up top to Shutt. Joyce. Around the horn it goes. Delaney extra pass. Shooting space called.
Great calm offense from the Jumbos there. It's about time we see some consistent passing. Honestly, it wasn't that consistent, though. We saw a couple drops there, a couple bounces, but here's an opportunity.
Can the grad student get the Jumbos on the board? Delaney, hard charge. Buries it.
Easy dunk right there. Faking low. Dunking it over the goalie. She's got height on the goalie as well, so unsurprised by that strategy.
That is a good point. Samoska, not the tallest in net at 5'6". When you're up against someone like Madeline Delaney who can go low, go high, go left, go right, it doesn't really matter. You almost are guessing, and you got to, I mean, if my math does me right, you got a 1 in 4 chance of guessing right. That time she did not.
Madeline Delaney has 2 free position goals in the season so far, so not very regular for her to be in this situation.
Yeah, that was only her 7th free position opportunity of the year. Gibbons right back to the draw circle. And that is a sight to be worried about if you're Amherst. Once Jenny Gibbons gets going from the draw circle, you're usually not going to see much of the ball the rest of the day. And that's what happened there. Amherst jumps the circle, and the Jumbos are already running. Skylar Lloyd, and I believe a block called. It's going to be a card on Amherst. Oh, no, my apologies. It will not be a card. It will be a free position for Lloyd, center on.
I saw the referee pull something out of his pocket, so.
He did, and decided it wasn't worthy of a card. Center free position for Skylar Lloyd. Amherst once again being told not to infract on the circle. Lloyd knocked out of her stick as she went to shoot it, and Conahan backed it up. Might have gotten away with a trip in the process.
But it's the effort that counts there, and that's why the Tufts Jumbos maintain possession.
Carden getting triple teamed here. Finally releases to Lloyd. Now Grace Hammond, who's really come into her own the last couple weeks. Lloyd draws a double, whips it to Hammond. Tries to draw the shooting space call, nothing there. Now Zorn on the X. Spins. Getting hacked, but works it up top. Inside feed caught by Hammond. Spins back, scores, and just like that, it's 3-2.
Stealthy goal from Hammond there. I saw her sort of creep around as her defender moved to the left. And there's an adjustment on the field.
What's going on here? Are they taking that away?
I believe so.
They're going to get Grace Hammond with a dangerous release. And so the goal is going to be wiped off. Courtney Shute not happy about it. She's having a problem with the fact that Brooke Diamond O'Brien is very clearly on the field arguing calls. And,
some words exchanged.
Yeah, I mean, and now the referees are going to have another discussion. Another something is being written down on a card, but I can't quite tell you what it is.
Well, Amherst has to think on that one because aggressive shot or not, dangerous shot or not, Grace Hammond was wide open there.
She was, which is why I kind of agree with Courtney Shute, and I'd love to see. I'm actually going to watch that back real quick. Oh, that is a horrible call on replay. But there was, as you said, there wasn't anyone there. So I'm really questioning how a dangerous release call can be made.
I'm sure they know that the keeper is supposed to be in the net in front of the shot, so couldn't have been that.
Jumbos know a little bit about dangerous release calls. It has cost them both of their last two games against Middlebury, with dangerous release goals getting wiped off the board. Inside feed caught off the outside of the post, and Dawn, oh, no way. And they thankfully changed the call. This time it's Diamond O'Brien's turn to get mad at the referees for listening to coaches' opinions. And you know it's an SCAC game when both coaches are furious with the officials 8 minutes in. Summers looking to clear.
No need to pass.
Especially not. Just uses the sideline to force Peterson out. And the Jumbos will just hold for the remainder of the woman down.
Great use of the field there.
And it's great experience there from Summers, knowing she doesn't have to panic, doesn't have to look to make a pass when she can just outrun the entire Amherst team.
It's no surprise that Tufts sits at the top of the NESCAC and top of D3 women's lacrosse with the best clear percentage.
Do wonder if that still is the case after their 2 fail clears earlier today. Don't have stats quite that live, though. Courtney Shute screaming from the sideline that she wants Margie Card to have the ball in her stick when the Jumbos go back to full strength in 12 seconds. And we got a problem here because that far side clock has just completely gone out.
Scoreboard's still going, though.
Now we're back. 18 to shoot for the Jumbos. Work to the X. Zorn with 10. Cuts left, inside feed. Hammond this time didn't get the shooting space call. Low shot bounced in. How did she do that? Oh my word, Allie Zorn. She loves making highlight reel plays against the Mammoths.
The underhand shot from Allie Zorn is just mesmerizing. Sneaking it through Samoska's legs, right into the bottom left corner.
That is just too good from Zorn. And for an Amherst team that had the ideal start here in Medford, that is quickly getting wiped away.
A lot of smiles on the Jumbos bench now. And the Mammoths are disgruntled.
I don't really know what they can be disgruntled about. Jumbos held the ball for all of that possession. I mean, I guess I know why they're disgruntled. Whenever you give up a goal with 3 seconds left on the shot clock, it's not going to make you very happy. Raven able to save that draw control for the Mammoths. See if they can get an offensive look here. Haven't had one in about 5 minutes of game time despite being woman up. On the X now. Worked around by Kang. Rogers coming to get it up top. Working against Gibbons. Back to Kang on the X. Showing for it is Kate Becker. Up top, that's Sosa. Not getting a step on Elsa Shutt. Skip pass. That's getting picked off every day. Gibbons running the other way. Has Carden. Inside feed. Zorn caught it. Got shoved. Extra pass. Carden got run over. We'll see if that's a card or just a free position. It'll just be a free position with a chance to tie the game.
Carden coming in with some heat there.
This game's getting physical fast.
Does make me wonder if that will do wonders for the Jumbos, or will it just help the Mammoths?
I almost think the answer is both. Carden in, saved, and the rebound kicked all the way out. Scooped up on the run by Olivia Summers. And the Amherst bench having a message about the Jumbo's camera staff on the end line. And in case you didn't notice, this game is getting a little bit chippy. Rogers. Inside feed, work to the X. Trying to roll the crease. Becker to Peterson against Fernanda Pole. Tries to run right.
Peterson already with 2 today.
Down to 25 to shoot. Becker trying to outrun Summers. That's not going to work. Sosa now. Loses her foot. Fernanda Pole scoops the ball, and the Jumbos are running. And Fernanda Pole is going to fly.
Good face dodge there.
Skip pass. Zorn catches. Up fake. Shooting space.
I see what you mean. The shooting space fouls are going to benefit both teams here.
It's going to come down to who can execute from the free position mark.
It's hard to avoid giving those up, especially on a high-stakes, quick-paced offense like that.
Zorn left of center, looking for her second on the day. And a violation. I think Amherst left early. They did. We're going to do it again.
That's sort of a saving grace for Ali Zorn there.
I think she noticed it, to be honest.
You think that?
There was like a little bit of a double clutch in her shot. This time she's going high.
Good prediction.
Couldn't put it on frame.
Great backup, though.
Conahan rolls the crease, spins, got it knocked out, scoops it back up, 60 to shoot. Now Carden cycles to Joyce. Inside feed caught, out to Zorn, and she'll try it a third time.
The ball movement on the Jumbo side has been much quicker than the Amherst side, causing great commotion, resulting in these great opportunities.
Third time's the charm. We're tied.
Great ring on the net on that shot, too. Satisfying sound.
Zorn just continues her unreal sophomore campaign. A 40th goal on the season for the junior. And, I mean, we were talking about her at the beginning of the season as she got named to that honorable mention preseason All-America list. I don't think there's going to be an honorable mention next to her All-American nod in a month. And I guess, Marcus, my question is if you're Brooke Diamond O'Brien, your team started out so well, got up to a 3-0 lead within 4.5 minutes, and then has looked like a toddler trying to survive in the open ocean the last 10. What do you do now?
I'm surprised no timeouts have been called for on the Amherst side yet. I think a change of pace is definitely needed. And if it doesn't come after this draw, then it has to come artificially.
The referee is making sure that ball is nice and tight. And Gibbons wins it herself. Jenny Gibbons really starting to assert herself on the draw circle, and it is corresponded with the Jumbos getting back into this game. Margie Carton took a couple shoves, but spun through it. And now they're going to bring the play back. It'll be a free position here behind the net for the contact to the head. Lloyd works it around. Zorn going to be the distributor here, calling out a play. 2 women marking her. Rolls one. Draws the slide. Still running. Circles. Inside feed. Caught. Jumbo's lead.
Great vision. Great vision. Seeing Grace Hammond slip that slide or slip that extra pick and then just find an open space behind.
Well, the problem I think that Zorn identified in this Amherst defense is you cannot put 2 women marking woman to woman any one jumbo attacker on this team because the rest of them are just too good.
And they can notice the slots. That's the thing. Even if you have a double team, there's still going to be some space, and that's where the Bows find it.
Zorn already with 2 goals and an assist here.
Drawing multiple slides on that offense. You wonder what the Mammoths can do to stop her.
Well, I think your answer is correct. They can call a timeout. I'm really wondering what O'Brien's threshold for a timeout must be if a 4-goal run isn't it.
A change in momentum is necessary for them. And they get it.
Mia Raven, the only thing keeping Amherst in this game right now. She has all 4 of their draw controls on the day.
Now what can she produce in the offensive zone?
She hasn't touched the ball offensively since the very first possession of the day.
Which is quite odd.
It is for someone who's in their top 5 in scoring.
And assisting.
Here she is with the ball. Working against Netta Leshley. Puts it down, but it's scooped up there by Kang. Spin dodge there from Becker. She plays it up top. This is Sophia Gutman now. Trying to get a step on Gibbons. Gibbons wins the 2020 matchup. Becker. Trying to roll the crease. Instead forced to just bring it outside to Peterson. She doesn't want to go 1v1 against Fernanda Pole. So it'll be Gutman again. Draws the slide. 20 now to shoot. It'll be Raven's turn to go 1v1. Rolls. Hammond on the switch. Inside feed. Low shot. DeBuren with the save.
Tufts not giving up much there.
Best defensive possession of the day so far for the Jumbos. Quick clear ahead to Fernanda Pole. She'll go middle to Zorn. Amherst all sorts of caught out. Hammond. Down low. L'Esperance. Conahan. Can't turn it into a shot. Around the horn it goes. Playing rapid fire lacrosse. 20 to go in the first quarter. Conahan. Stutter step. Draws the slide. Backs out with 10. Carden. Up and under. Draws 2. Face dodge. Inside feed. Caught. Shot. Backed up. And hold on. There's going to be a free position, I believe. Referees blew the whistle.
Amherst player is on the field currently.
Did the Jumbos get another card?
Looks like it.
This one's going to go on Skylar Lloyd.
I think somebody was hitting the head there. There we go. Dangerous
Dangerous
follow
follow through
through.
called on Skylar Lloyd there. Yeah, that one's just on replay a pretty good call. She clipped her woman in the top of the head on releasing the shot. I don't care how much of a Jumbo fan you are. That one's a yellow card every day. And that will be how the first quarter ends here on Bello. Amherst got out to a 3-0 lead, but the Jumbos responded. We go to the quarter break, 4-3 Tufts. Welcome back here to Bello. 4-3 as we get set for the start of the second quarter. And Marcus, we're taking a look at the NESCAC scoreboard in the quarter break. And what can you tell us about the inverse of this matchup in Amherst?
So the men's competition right now at Amherst is the exact same score. Bows up 4-3. And how did that happen?
Well, what's interesting is it happened the same way. Amherst got the first 3 goals of the game, and then the Jumbos hit them with 4-0 run.
Some evil spirits are working here.
That's definitely an interpretation. Amherst is going to start with possession because they are woman up. That's an interesting play that worked really well. Amherst kept a woman off the field unnecessarily to fool the Jumbos into thinking they were matching up woman to woman and used Gutman to trigger the release.
Great strategic play there. And I think Amherst is beginning to think a lot more about what they're doing on the field.
So we've seen game plans A come and go. A response now from the Mammoths. What will Courtney Schute's response to that be? Skip to the X. Inside feed. Missed everybody on the turf. Looked like it could have been a crease violation, but in the end, Bridget Darcy scoops it up. And then thrown away. Jumbos won't be able to go save it. A minute left on the woman up. 30 left on the shot clock. Gutman. Around the horn. Jumbo's late on the slide. Ooh. Interesting call there. I'd love to see what was called. Gonna be a shooting space call. And I gotta say, I question that because if a shooting space is called and then the ball's released, the fact that there was not a dangerous release called is a little bit inconsistent with the refereeing today. Up top. And Amherst decides not to take the shooting space.
It was a low angle opportunity, I will say that.
It was, but they have 15 to shoot now on the woman up. Inside feed, caught, shot, over to Buren's cage. Fernandopolis scoops it up, and the Jumbos are going to run. Gibbons, outlet.
Woman down, still successful in the clear.
Not only that, they might have turned it into a woman up in transition. Joyce takes a bump. Skip pass, Zorn. Hat trick.
Zorn wide open on that skip pass. The slides were not consistent.
No, they weren't. And if you're Amherst, you turned a woman up for 2 minutes into a jumbo goal.
Not enough conversion towards the net. There was almost no shots on goal in that entire offensive bout.
Well, actually, I can tell you, they gave a shot on goal to Emily Peterson. It did not go on goal. It
was
bounced
a negative.
over to Buren shove. The Jumbos outshot the Mammoths while being woman down.
Amherst now trailing by 2 compared to their 3-0 lead earlier in this game. And a change in the draw from Tufts.
Yeah, interesting. Elsa Shutt, their second draw taker, out on the circle this time. See if this is a long-term change or just to give Jenna Gibbons a little bit of rest.
Jenna Gibbons still out there, though.
I'm actually wondering if it has to do with the fact the Jumbos are still woman down, but that's not going to matter because Amherst just threw the ball away. Jumbos will be back to full strength in about 6 seconds. Madeline might just take that time to clear the ball. And the Jumbos back to full strength with a 2-goal lead. Their first multi-goal lead of the day. Carden rolls. Works it to the X. L'Esperance. Up and under. Forced to dip back. Zorn with the skip to Joyce. Rolls 1, rolls 2. That's a push on Amherst. I believe it's going to be a free position. Or are they going to call a charge? No, they're going to give Joyce the free position. Diamond O'Brien is at midfield asking for an explanation. But the referees are telling her, like they've told Courtney Shute, to get off the field and stop talking. Joyce. Off the outside of the post.
A reset of the shot clock, though, so they got something out of it.
Joyce surveys, cuts through 2, draws the double. Spins it back up top, Carden. She'll run the same route. Now Delaney's turn to work. Skip near side. Zorn cycles. Delaney. Inside cut. Doesn't have a cutter, so she'll work it around the X. Conahan at the GLE with 20 to shoot. Shoveled towards Margie Carden, but a dangerous pass. Conahan will scoop it up with 15. Now it's shut. Zorn gets shoved over, and once again, Amherst is going to bail out the Jumbos.
I did see contact. I saw a reaction as well.
That would be one way to put it. Zorn looking for a 4th already today, and she's got it.
Tufts is only 4.466%. Sorry, 46% on their free position conversions. Yet, here they are, making it the most important part of their game.
Yeah, and I think I have a new strategy for Amherst. It's called Just Stop Allie Zorn. Because she has scored or assisted on 5 of the Jumbo's 6 goals today.
Standout player. With Allie Zorn as a senior next year, I'm not too worried about the Jumbo season next year.
No, the Jumbo's offense is going to be plenty fine next year. They will still have the likes of Zorn. Kate Dean will be back to full strength. Elsa Shutt will still be back. as well as this entire talented sophomore class that has really come into its own, led by Skylar Lloyd and Grace Hammonds. The real question will be the defense and who steps in net to replace Pascal DeBuren. But there's, a rebuilding season for a team under Courtney Shute means they're contending for only an SCAC title instead of a national championship. This program is one with super high expectations at all times, and so they will still be a very good team next year, if not just as good as this year. But the way they've looked so far this year is really unprecedented. When you look at their results, there have only been 2 games all year where they have not had a running clock situation. One was the loss at Middlebury last weekend, and one was their 10-8 win against Williams a week and a half ago. Every other game they have sent to a running clock.
That's a crazy stat.
It is, and I think it speaks to just the dominance, because you look at it, it's not unusual for them to have tight-knit first quarters like the one we saw today. They've been down in the first quarter in the vast majority of their games, at least at some point, whether it be 1-0 or 3-2, and then they just go. We saw it here after Courtney Shute called that first time out in the first quarter. The Jumbos just took off, and really since then, it's been a completely different game.
It seems like they mustn't have been too worried about their deficit in the first quarter then, if they were comfortable with that.
Another draw win for Amherst. This one, Rose gets to herself.
Gibbons not at the dot on that one.
Gibbons not the dot. And interestingly, the senior Kate Mastrobuono on the field now for the Jumbos. Going to give Conahan a little bit of rest. As Amherst looks to get something going offensively. Rogers works it to Gussman. Here is Sophia Gutman. Rolls right. But once again, just forced to dish it to the X. Up top. Rogers has to go down and grab it like a golf ball. Now Peterson. Trying to use a moving screen, but Fernanda Pole with her every step of the way. Gutman. Can't get the shooting space call. Now Becker with 30. Hard roll. Nothing there. Peterson again. Forced off it. And Amherst looks just clueless right now.
They're trying their best.
Hard drive from Becker. Draws the double. Gutman. Rolls. Tight angle. DeBuren with the easy save.
Toss with a great job of pushing the Amherst attackers down the alleys and just forcing them to dish it back to X, which you stated earlier, Riley.
That ball knocked out. It's going to be Amherst ball. So
hopefully they can capitalize.
That is a good sign for them. The one thing they've really been able to do throughout this game is put more pressure on the Jumbos clears than we've normally seen. Jumbos only 6 for 8 today on the clear.
Unlike their overall season stat.
And I almost just have to stop when I'm watching this Amherst offense because outside of the person with the ball in their stick, no one is moving. It is a completely stationary offense.
And they give it up with low pressure as well.
Jumbos looking to clear. They're going to use their usual outlet. That's Fernanda Pole. Carden. Hard cut.
Ball moving a lot faster now.
Mastrobuono fakes the pass. Draws the slide. Leshley now. She'll work it to Lesperance, who cuts in. Around one, draws the switch. Up top to Mastrobuono, who loves to serve in that facilitator role. Rolls right. Backs out. Zorn. Skip pass. Hammond. Shooting space.
Tufts efficiently moves that ball because what they do is they'll have an adjacent member on their team, adjacent to the ball, cut behind their defender, so they have an open alley to dodge to.
Hammond. Too high on the bounce. Stays in the field of play. Amherst has it. Jumbo's with an all-out ride. Amherst in trouble. But a great face dodge there by Bryn Corpy to get them out of trouble momentarily. Jumbo ride not giving up. A full 11 ride for the Bows. As Ella Shea looks to clear. She'll do so.
So it's these one-on-one opportunities that the Mammoths have been trying to exploit today. But the Jumbos have solid defenders everywhere.
Gutman. Face dodge. Tries to get an angle and beats DeBuren short side.
Spoke too early.
I mean, I don't think you did, though, because that was a good defensive possession from Jenna Gibbons. Gutman got a step, but she kept her to the near side angle. And it's just a great piece of individual offense.
Hopefully, they can rely a little bit more on some team play. I know they don't have a lot of. I know the Amherst Mammoths don't have a lot of assists in their offensive success, and we've seen that today from their free position goals and from their solo efforts. But they're still trailing.
They are still trailing 6-4. Back to the draw circle we go, and it is Jenna Gibbons back out there. This referee is taking their sweet time, making sure that ball is nice and tight. Spun forward, Hammond gets pulled down. Took Raven down with her, and the referees seem uninterested in blowing the whistle. Amherst with another draw win. Kang working on the X against Summers. So the wind starts to pick up here. Great inside cut from Raven, and she scores.
Caught her defender sleeping. Cuts behind her turned head when the ball is behind X.
And a quick 2-goal run here from Amherst to cut it back to 1.
I was impressed with that play.
It was a nice cut there from Mia Raven. Did a really good job sensing when her defender would be vulnerable to that back cut. And she just went. There was no hesitation about it. No, I'm going to see if the woman at X is looking. I'm just going. I'm going to trust in my teammate to make that pass. And it was there.
Great acceleration from her, too, which allowed her to get freed up so well. And it was a quick offensive conversion, which I like, which is not quite characteristic of the Amherst Mammoths.
So we're back to even on the quarter at 2 apiece. And a violation against Amherst. That's second on them of the day. And a call there. It's going to be jumbo ball behind the net. Contact high on Zorn. Skipped up top, Cardin. Shot with a little up and under. Works it GLE to the backside. Mastrobuono caught. Gets tripped up. That's going to be a free position.
It's hard to stop Mastrobuono.
It is. You can't stop her high. She's so good on her feet. You can't stop her low. And you can't stop her shot as that one just beat Samoska for pace.
Offside high. Great position to shoot.
Well, what's crazy about that is I watched Louis Samoska in real time guess the right spot. She just couldn't get there fast enough.
Couldn't beat it. That is a pretty vulnerable position to be in as a keeper, though.
There is not really a non-vulnerable position to be as a goalkeeper on Bella Fields. Jumbo's pushed the lead back to 2 on the Mastrobanov free position.
Amherst still clinging on.
They are. They've really reset after the timeout. Both teams have really shown the value of using a timeout today to reset their teams mentally. Set play on off the draw for Amherst. Shutt was able to break it up momentarily, but couldn't win the second attempt. Mia Raven gets another. And then dodges through about 4 jumbos for good measure.
Dancing through the midfield area.
She's been so impressive today. Very easy to see how she was the NESCAC Rookie of the Year. Kang on the X. A lot of contact. Yep, good call. Jumbo's bench can groan, but Delaney did clip Sosa. And a really good job of the referees not giving an 8-meter, but correctly calling that a 12-meter.
Wind starting to pick up quite a bit on Bellow Field.
That'll make things easy. Amherst takes the free position to slow things down even further. Gutman trying to roll on Shutt. Shutt knocked the pass down, but it will end up with Emma Crotty. Kang rolls, gets a step, tries to spin back, but the slide was there. Great face dodge. Hard cut shot is wide. Did not hit anything on the net. Off a good look there from Sosa.
More movement from the Amherst women's team here, and it's impressive. It's showing that they've got more opportunities.
Gutman gets an angle, but can't get the shot off. Did not sell that she was trying to shoot, or she would have gotten a shooting space call. Peterson with 5. Low shot, bounced in.
Great sweep dodge there.
And that's a hat trick for her on the day.
Riley, it looked like there was traffic in the middle of that shot, but I could be wrong.
There was definitely some, but I think once she got that step, she had a clear enough lane on Pascal de Buren that it was a good release. And a really smart decision to use that traffic that was not in the goal mouth, but around it to bounce that shot and just give Pascal something else to think about while she had to save that ball.
Yeah, being able to track that ball through a bunch of moving legs as well, it's tough.
We're back to a 1-goal game again. Wouldn't expect anything else in this matchup. That one goes a million miles high, and Elsa Shutt gets called for a clamp. Kang trying to go a little bit faster now. But once again, just forced to X. Up top with some space now. Rogers. Forced to turn back. Inside feed behind the woman, picked up by Delaney. And it will be jumbo ball here. It's a foul called on Amherst.
Not a lot of work being done behind the net. But I will say that the Mammoths have had their best opportunities from dodges up top, so not surprised on that.
Delaney ahead. Outlet pass for Fernanda Pole. Looking for some help. Has it in Shutt. Three minutes to play in the first half. Joyce tried to get it to Cardin, but she was shut off. Around it comes. L'Esperance draws the double inside to Cardin, and it bounced in. How about that? Well, okay. We'll take an excuse me goal for Margie Cardin.
Margie Cardin surprised about that as well.
Great pass idea there from L'Esperance. Saw the backdoor cut from Cardin, and then it just hits off the bottom of her stick and bounces in to make it 8-6.
Bounces perfectly into the top right corner as well.
Could not ask for a better bounce, but can't say Margie Cardin knew much about that goal. The seniors once again combine. Same two back on the draw circle. Straight up. Rose skied for it, couldn't win it cleanly. Lloyd fighting for it. Hammond kicks it ahead. And a clamp called on Amherst. Jumbo's screaming that they want a green card. Cardin. That little bit of spark in her step now that she's got it on the score sheet. Had 5 last weekend at Middlebury. Here's Mastrobuono, cycles it. L'Esperance. Rolls the crease up top. Lloyd. Inside, Cardin catches, shoots, off the outside of the post. Back to Mastrobuono. Now it's Lloyd's turn. Cardin. Had cutters, didn't like the option, so she'll work it back. Draws the double. Hammond shows for the ball. Mastrobuono has L'Esperance, instead Zorn. She draws 2 and draws up free position. And Zorn will try to get to 5 goals in the first half here. Zorn. Knocked out of her stick. It'll stay with the Bows. Great collapse from Amherst. And a violation there on the Mammoths. From Eve Conahan, a slightly better angle to restart play. Around the horn it goes. Mastrobuono. Inside feed caught. Zorn catches. Deals with some contact. Pass knocks back. Scooped up by Amherst. And they're going to run. Shot clock will not be a factor the rest of the quarter. Jump House with an aggressive ride here. They don't want Amherst to have any time if they can help it. Samoska just holding the ball as the Jumbos with an 11-woman ride right now.
Mammoth seemed a little stumped here.
The ride working very well. Amherst going to try and substitute to get away from it. Force a dangerous pass. Jenna Gibbons with a scoop. Gibbons 1v1 on Samoska, and she buries it.
Incredible. Incredible from the Tufts Jumbos there. Converting a lost possession into a goal.
And it goes back to that brilliant coaching that we've talked about from Courtney Shute. The Jumbos, when they put that all-out ride on, it is so hard to break. And you saw it there from Amherst, where Samoska, the freshman, just seemed unsure of what to do. She could not, for about 30 seconds, find an open teammate. Had one for a split second, but Gibbons covered the distance, knocked the ball free, and took it herself.
At first, I thought the Mammoths were just running the clock down so they'd have the rest of the clock in their offensive possessions half, but they couldn't quite cross half.
Jumbos lead, the biggest it's been all day. It's at 3.
Amherst will have a lot of time to talk over this.
Jumbos send both their draw control helpers to this left side here, potentially indicating where Gibbons intends to send this ball. Instead, she sends it back the other way and will go get it herself.
With no opposition.
20 seconds to go in the half. Jumbos want one more. Carden switches it. Mastrobuono shoots, and she buries it.
Is that 2 for Mastrobuono today?
It is 2 for Mastrobuono. 2 absolute scorchers from Kate, and the Jumbos hit double digits before the break.
That's got to put a lot of confidence in the Jumbos coming out of this halftime.
And for an Amherst team that was in a 1-goal game about 3 minutes ago, a brutal end to this first half.
I bet they wish it could have just ended earlier.
I think they wanted the first half to end at about 10:30 in the first quarter.
Ever since then, it's been a little bit of a downtrend.
Jumbo's up to a 4-goal lead here. Kind of shocked that no whistle went there. Jumbos have 5 seconds. They might not waste it. Skylar Lloyd inside feed. Almost. Did that go in? Oh, my Lord. Oh, my gosh, from Skylar Lloyd. And that'll be how the first half ends.
That looked like a feed to Margie Carden, but
It absolutely was. But that pretty much sums up how this first half has gone for Amherst. It looked real good for a real long time, and then the rails came off. We go to the break, 11-6 Bows. And welcome back to Bello Field here. About ready to get going for the second half. Jumbos leading 11-6 thanks to a late first half flurry. 3 goals in the final 27 seconds have put them in control of this game. And Marcus, what does Amherst need to do to respond?
Amherst needs to clean up their offensive possessions. It just seems like they've had some sloppy turnovers on their clears and on their offensive possessions that have resulted in this lead going from, what was it, 8-6 to 11-6 in the last minute
Yeah, I
of the
think that's
last quarter.
definitely a factor. I also think you look at the freshman Lily Samoska. She's been good on the year with a 10-3 record and a .418 save percentage. But today that's not really coming through. Only 2 saves on 13 shots faced.
Yep. She's been put in some tough situations, though. I will say she's been faced with some free position goals. It's never fun stepping in front of a shot from Ali Zorn or from Kate Mastrobuono. So
Could not agree more, though. I don't know how much she knew about a couple of those goals. I'm thinking the Margie Cardin one and that one at the end of the quarter from Skylar Lloyd at 000.
a lot of the shots have been going top left corner. That's what I've noticed. So she can clean that up.
That one skied up, and a foul called on the Jumbos. Courtney Shute thought the call was going their way, told her team to go attack their own net. But now everyone's settled and we can begin the second half. Sydney Kang with a hard dodge. Ball knocks free, and scooped up by Elsa Shutt. And she's going to look to go. Jumbo's got numbers again. Delaney. Shot down low, and this time a save made by Samoska. Jumbo's back in the 10-woman rod immediately. Gave Samoska fits to end the first half.
Still seems like there are no options, though.
Amherst trying to use some picks, but the Jumbo's doing a good job fighting through them. Pass does get made to Bryn Corpy.
Only 60 on the clock by the time they cross the half, though.
Amherst bench unhappy about something. It's kind of been a theme today. Kang. Around the horn it goes.
Amherst coaching staff adamant on the team popping. The players need to pop so that the ball carrier has some options.
I'm not quite seeing the popping on this possession, Marcus.
No, it's pretty stagnant.
Becker with the roll. She's just struggling to get a step on her own woman. 5 to shoot. Raven. Forced to the alley. That's a dangerous pass that finds no one, and that'll be the shot clock.
Amherst is scared of the slot in front of the goal. They've been standing in a ring for 60 seconds on that offensive possession. And few cuts went through, so they better start using that space if they want to cut this lead down.
Jumbo's with numbers again. Joyce, inside feed. Zorn shovels it wide. That would have been nice.
I don't know if Zorn knew where the net was on that.
But it is just 2 different games we're watching depending on who has the ball. Joyce with a nice shot. That's wide. It'll stay with the Bows.
Bows are getting their hands free really quickly. They're just releasing shot after shot after shot.
Joyce skip pass up top. Through a lot of traffic and buries it.
Not much to say. I mean, just an impressive individual performance there.
I mean, it is, but I think, once again, you got to give credit to that skip pass. I believe it's Lesperance who made the pass from the X. And, I mean...
That's true.
When you have someone who can make that pass over the entire defense, it just takes 4 or 5 defenders out of the play and then allows someone like Emma Joyce to get a point-blank look.
And all the defenders have to readjust their stance. They have to shift their hips, turn around where the ball is now. And that's how they get caught on their heels, just like that.
Jumbo's on a 5-0 run now. Trying to get their second 6-goal run of the day. Had one spanning the first and second quarters where they went from down 3-0 to up 6-3. Gibbons sends that one forward. Bounces down. Raven, who's been everywhere, gets hacked. And Jumbo's going to go woman down again. Amherst bench, very happy. Ooh, I kind of agree with the Amherst coaching staff on this one. There probably should have been a card there.
I didn't see the details of it, but it looked like Mia Raven went down hard.
She went down, looked from our terrible vantage point 50 yards away like she had gotten at least some contact high. And the referee telling, as they show a green card to Elsa Shutt, they are telling Diamond O'Brien that they are tired of hearing her voice.
One minute of woman up possession for the Amherst Mammoths here.
See if they can do better with their woman up this time than they did last time. Last time they did not score and actually conceded a woman down goal to the Jumbos.
Did they talk about their woman up during halftime? I wonder. We are about to see.
Hasn't been great on the air. Only 17 woman up goals on the season. Compared to the 15 that they've given up. And once again, the same stagnant offense despite being woman up. That time they do hit a skip pass. The Jumbos do a good job collapsing to it. Raven draws shooting space.
Better passing. Longer passes, quicker passes.
That's the sort of offense that can get Amherst back in the game.
6 goals is a big bridge to cross, though, Riley.
It is, but if they're looking like that, as Raven comes in, can't beat DeBuren, they're a lot more likely to get back in the game than they are with the offense they showed in the first half. Jumbo's running. They will be back to full strength in 5 seconds. They might not wait. Jenna Gibbons to Zorn. Skips it. L'Esperance off the crossbar. Delaney somehow grabbed that rebound. Finds Zorn inside. And
off the
she
post.
Gets pushed. It's going to be a free position. Courtney Shute upset. She wants a card. It is a yellow, actually. So the Jumbo's going to go woman up. Zorn, who's been sitting on 4 goals for about a quarter now, will have a free position if she wants it, though I don't know if she's going to take it or just look to recycle things to get the woman up offense started.
They might as well drain the clock, Riley. But then again, Ali Zorn is dead in front of the goal right now.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to have a better angle than this, and more importantly, I don't think there's anyone, including Courtney Shute, who can tell Ali Zorn not to shoot.
That's very true.
Zorn straight on, and she doesn't shoot, surprising us both.
Discipline.
Play called out from the bench. Here is Zorn. Joyce looking for a teammate. It's Delaney. She gets shooting space.
Now the question is, will there be a shot or a reset of possession again?
Here, I think you actually look to pass. They have Margie Carter and Elsa Shutt on the left side. Only one defender.
Oh.
And her scrambling to get back. Delaney now going to take the opportunity. Shot was wide, and it's scooped up by the Mammoths. And here comes the all-out ride.
Mammoths still woman down, so they have fewer options.
That was not one of them. Jenna Gibbons is not in purple. Courtney Shute screaming for offside, didn't get it. Minute left on the woman down for the Mammoths. Delaney cuts through, gets hacked, free position. Shot is scored by Delaney.
Those top corners have been very vulnerable. Great shot placement from the Bows there.
Jumbos just continue to roll. Another 6-goal run. The lead pushed to 7 on the Delaney goal, her second of the day.
Riley, I know you recognize the players a little bit better than I do. Have we seen many of the seniors so far on the
We've
field?
seen a good number that are in the normal rotation, but have not seen, they have not really opened the bench floodgates quite yet. I imagine that'll happen somewhere around the time we get to running clock, which at this rate could be only a matter of moments. And another timeout called by Amherst, as things have gone from bad to worse for the team in purple and white.
Amherst now they're losing their discipline as well, which I think is just adding to their deficit.
Yeah, it has been noticeable in this second half when you look at it, right? Amherst,
3 positions given up.
well, not only that, the first quarter they gave up when they took the lead, right? That early run, not a single free position attempt for the Jumbos. When the Jumbos hit them with the big run to get back in, take the lead, they gave up 6 in the span of 12 minutes. Now again, in this run, they've given up 4 in the span of 6 minutes.
Do you think that's coming from Tufts' abilities to draw those fouls or just sloppy defense?
A little bit of both. There are some, like the shooting space ones, where you're like, all right, that's just good offense from the Jumbos. They're moving the ball around, getting open woman opportunities. Then there are some where I'm thinking that one where Madeline Delaney just got, right? She's cut through 2, but she doesn't have an angle on net, so she's forced to back out.
Right.
And then Amherst, a little too frustrated, a little too ambitious, goes to try and knock the ball free. Gets called with the cross check, gives up the free position.
When
they're not a threat, when they're not looking to go towards goal, that's not the time to put the stick in and risk the call. When they are coming on you, sure, a free position is much better to give up than a goal. But when they're not a tangible threat, you have to have that restraint to just say, I know I want to, but I'm not going to dig in here.
I think it's also got to come from confidence in the defensive side of the Mammoths. I think there's some panic. They're worried about these goals that they've let up, and they're just rushing to stop whatever they can, which has resulted in some of these free positions. And we're back to the center dot. The standard matchup at the dot for today.
These two have gotten very familiar with each other. Fernanda Pole being sent into the center circle, and Mia Raven gets knocked over to win her 7th draw control of the day, which triggers Courtney Schute's turn to ask the referee for an explanation. Can't remember, Marcus. It was either the first or second call of the game was the last one where there wasn't a coaching staff asking for an explanation.
There's definitely some frustration between the coaches and the refs right now. Or for this whole game, I should say.
Kang tried to play that pass twice. Finally got it up top. Sosa, inside position. Save there by DeBuren. And a big one.
Huge save. That's an important one because that's Amherst's game right there.
Oh, and a really bad... That's a violation on Amherst, excuse me.
Was that crease violation?
It was a crease violation as the Jumbos were in a little bit of trouble clearing. Amherst bailed them out once again. Zorn going to take it to the X. Rolls inside, gets a step. Draws 2. Bounces it. Amherst tried to knock it away to themselves, but they ended up just giving it to Margie Carden. Mastrobuono rolls through 2. Skip pass, Carden catches, and she can't finish it. Don't know if that was deflected or not. Hammond with 30 to shoot. L'Esperance rolls. Works it to Lloyd. Stutter step through 2. And a third. Conahan GLE. Now to the X. Mastrobuono up and under. Carden catches and buries it.
Mastrobuono beat 2 at X there?
Mastrobuono ducked under 1, around another, picked her head up, found Margie Carden, who caught it and shot it in one motion.
Fantastic. Margie Carden, a good cut there, too. Right behind her defender's head.
It was a great cut there from Margie Carden, and it's been a great game for Kate Mastrobuono. 2 goals and an assist for her. She has 3 points. So does Carden, as the seniors really starting to assert themselves in this second half.
No surprise that Mastrobuono was able to dish that assist. She is 3rd on the team in providing assists for the Jumbos this season. With now, it should be 12, I think.
It is 12 assists, now up to 20 points on the year for Kate Mastrobuono. 2 short of her career high from a year ago. That one spun forward for Anapole with the draw control. Runs through 2, dumps it off to Conahan. Jumbo's just continuing to pour gas on the fire.
I thought Fernanda Pole was going to take it further.
L'Esperance around the horn. Mastrobuono right back to work. Carden dumps it back for her. Skip pass, caught, shot, and too high from Zorn.
Zorn exercising some height advantage on that.
Mastrobuono with the restart, gets inside position, rolls the crease, draws 3. Skip pass, knocked down. Hammond able to save it. Conahan skips it inside, caught, shot! Carden with the hat trick.
Now, it might become a Margie Carden game.
I think it becomes a margin game at this point. I mean, it was 1989 the last time this game finished with a double-digit margin, and it's now an 8-0 Jumbo run as part of a larger 15-3 run for the Bows. And it is starting to be the point where we start to think about records here. The Jumbo's record for NESCAC goals on Bello Field, and NESCAC goals in any NESCAC game, actually, was set here a year ago against Bates with 23, which is very much in play with 21 minutes to play.
This score we're at right now is how the Amherst Mammoths lost to Middlebury at the beginning of the season. 6-15.
Don't believe they had a 3-0 lead in that one, though.
That's true.
Jumbos win yet another draw. It's becoming one-way traffic on the draw circle. Fernanda Polis hits a beautiful pick, allowing the Jumbos to clear, and the offense goes right back to work. Skip pass caught. Carden gets run through. Keeper out of net to save it. She's in some trouble. And it's going to be Amherst ball. Jumbo's right going to back off slightly. Outlet pass to Taylor Hua. She'll get a step, but can't turn on Hammond. Aggressive ride once again. Peterson has to trek all the way back to collect the ball. Kate Becker in some trouble up top. Finley hands it to Gutman. Lost the ball. Scooped back up by her teammate. Finley works it to the X. Skip pass inside, jump shot, save by DeBuren. About 4 different women went down, and it's going to stay Amherst ball.
Almost with a heroic chance there, right in front of the crease, too.
It's a great pass. But the goal is just not a coming for the Mammoths right now.
A lot of frustration from the Mammoths, too, when they keep dropping the ball after charging at their defenders, so they got to hold on to the ball.
Hard dodge. Gutman got it. Trail checked from her, and a very late free position call. Last Amherst goal was with 6:52 to go in the second quarter. That was 17 minutes ago in game time. Sophia Gutman trying to change that. Will not as DeBuren gets down to block it.
DeBuren is on her head today. Incredible saves.
Inside feed, DeBuren again!
What did I say?
Summers giving all sorts of problem there to Kang. As Amherst will slow it down once again. DeBuren with 9 saves on the day.
A lot of them right in front of her as well.
Hard dodge inside feed. Amherst just ran into the Jumbos, and then they hit the crossbar. And that is a interesting call to say the least. Because we'll see what Courtney Shute does here when they decide it. But to me, it looked like they blew the whistle for a free position, allowed the shot, and then brought it back. But I see a yellow card in the referee's hand, which, if it comes out, is going to trigger quite a response from the Jumbo bench.
A lot of deliberation going on here. There's been a lot of conversations between the referees today.
I don't think they're particularly confident in whatever they're about to call. Fernanda Pole gets a yellow. She seems absolutely shocked. Asking for an explanation, which just isn't really coming. Now it's going to be Courtney Shute. I love Fernanda Pole's response. Fernanda Pole tells the referee, I don't think I agree, but that's okay. The absolute emblem of respect.
Now it's Emily Peterson at the top of the arc, free position. Leading goal scorer for the Mammoths this season.
It's a 3rd yellow card on the Jumbos. First on Fernanda Pole. Peterson, straight on. Missed it. The ball kicks back up, and Finley grabs it. Amherst calling out a play from the bench. Surveying the field. Gutman to Sosa, inside feed, caught. Finley with a chance, and she buries it. So Amherst gets back on the scoreboard. Margin cut to 8, and the run is finally stopped.
Amherst certainly happy about that one, and I think that's exactly how they drew it up. So it seems like their set plays are working.
Their set plays have worked when they've been played, but the problem for Amherst is I can count on my pinky finger the number of times they've run a set play in the second half.
Part of that is coming from the opportunities they've had in the offensive zone, though, as well. They haven't had much possession, have they?
No, they've not had much possession at all in the second half.
Here's an opportunity to get some. We have a Margot Matz at the dot now.
Kind of like that decision. It was not working at the dot for Elizabeth Rose. So Amherst willing to change things, try something new, and put the sophomore from Newport, Rhode Island out there. That one spun back. Delaney with the clean win. Mastrobano spins around one. Dumps it off to Conahan, who shows for her at the GLE. Zorn getting a little bit of rest right now. As the Jumbo's offense continues to work. Conahan takes a bump, cycles it. L'Esperance. Joyce now. Backs out. Surveys. It's Carden. Inside feed. Caught. Shot off the outside of the post from Delaney. Scooped up by Raven. And Amherst is going to look to go in transition. Jumbos might have gotten away with a green card there. Amherst wants to go right now. And it's going to be in the stick of Sophia Gutman, who's going with a little bit more pace than we've seen at any point today from the Mammoths. Up top for Gutman. Draws the slide, works it around to Sosa.
Another play being called. Mammoths rearranging.
Finley gives it back. Gutman rolls off the slide, works it to the X. This has been the problem for Amherst. They've gotten that first pass, but they have not been able to penetrate the Jumbo zone. Hard dodge there from Peterson. Lost the ball. Gibbons with the clean clasp. Peterson got very lucky not to take off Jenna Gibbons' head, and the Jumbos are running. Gibbons. Carden. Through one, spins left. Gets a look, and gets it. I thought that was it.
Hold on.
That surely looked in.
I heard no pipe, so it looked like it hit the net to me. Of course, they still are up by a significant amount, so
we will tell you what happened officially there at the next stoppage of play, as that is that a goal? Did they give that as a goal?
No, they did not.
They gave it as a crease violation. Amherst was already sending out their draw unit to celebrate the goal. Diamond O'Brien screaming at the referees. And the Jumbos go back in transition. Hard dodge. Lloyd draws the double. Mastrobuono. Inside feed. Carden catches, spins, bounces it in, and this one will count.
Great technical ability there. Tracking that ball low down. Securing it. And an unlucky and sort of unfortunate targeted pass, but still is able to collect it and then dish it out towards the net in a nice, beautiful bounce shot.
And I can confirm that the referees did make the right call on the previous attempt. It was, despite us not hearing it, off the post and out.
Wow. All right, well, almost 37 seconds left in this quarter. Amherst certainly looking to take that last goal off of their deficit.
Amherst has to really buckle down now if they want any chance of staying in this game, because another Jumbo goal would send us to running clock territory, and you're not going to get 10 goals against the Jumbos in a running clock situation.
I don't know. Even with a stoppage clock, it's pretty hard to get 10 goals up on the Jumbos.
Referee still taking his time, as they are still fighting for every inch on the center circle.
Not a new story.
You should restart it now. That one spins out hard right to Fernanda Pola. Zorn catches, takes a bump in the back. She's got 4 along with Carden, who almost got that ball there. It's going to go long, but Grace Hammond's going to run it down. 15 to go in the quarter. So Comdeck Hammond with 10. L'Esperance on the X with 5. Skip pass inside, caught, shot, wide. And that'll be how the quarter goes unless the Jumbos can quickly look. Hammond's shot is over the frame. And we go to the fourth here, 16-7 Bose. Welcome back here to Bellow Field, rather than here with Marcus Popo. And Marcus, we were talking about it earlier, the eerie reminiscence of what was happening here and what was happening in Amherst. Well, it's very similar, even more similar, because they also finished with a 5-1 Jumbos third quarter. The margin there a little bit closer at 13-5 Jumbos.
Is this the men's lacrosse game that you're
It is the
referring
men's
to?
lacrosse
Okay.
game I'm referring to. As just like here, Amherst started out well, and then the Jumbos woke up, and they woke up in a hurry.
Not very characteristic of the Tufts Jumbos for the men's side, though. They usually pull ahead, do they not?
They do, but to go down in the first quarter has kind of been the storyline this year.
Okay.
They're kind of setting their new reputation as the comeback kings.
Interesting. I don't
And
know what is very comeback about them.
I don't know, but I guess that works. It's a new storyline when you want to make something new about the reigning national champs who are bringing everything back.
They needed
Interesting note here, it'll be Sophia Claps along with Cardin, Mastrobano, and Zorn to start the fourth quarter attacking-wise, so no L'Esperance and no Conahan. Fernanda Pole went in there to fight against Mia Raven, but lost the battle. And now the Jumbos are caught out a little bit. We'll see if Amherst can take advantage. And this is really, that's poor from Amherst. You have Fernanda Pole who's caught in the draw circle. You got to go.
I agree. I mean, Fernanda Pola is a rock on our defensive half, so you got to take advantage of when she's missing.
Inside feed, caught, shot, and buried. That one put in by Bridget Finley.
Took them 28 seconds. At this rate, they could make a comeback.
They very much could, but it would actually take them running possessions like that one where they penetrate the Jumbo defense. But once again, we talked about it literally 10 seconds before they did it. They took advantage of the Fernanda Poli was not back and settled defensively to finally find a gap in the Jumbo zone.
Way to point that out, Riley. I did not expect to see that initially. But Fernanda Pola is back at the circle. Oh, and they're switching her back.
Yeah.
Defensive half.
Because Courtney Shute, astute as she always is, noticed what we did, which is that Amherst saw an opportunity with Fernanda Poli in the draw circle. That one skied up. Gibbons with a clean win. Mastrobuono going to go to the X. Here's Collapse. Little stutter step. Now Delaney. Drop the ball. Gonna have to go scoop it. Joyce works it around. Collapse draws 2. Cardin GLE. Gonna use Zorn as a screen. Works it to Mastrobuono. Up top, Joyce. Stutter step. Hands free. And it got knocked out of her stick. He'll stay with the bows.
Great acceleration there on that dodge.
It was, and a great stick check behind the play by Mia Raven. Amherst bench trying to argue it was not a shot to no avail. Elsa shut, and she draws the shooting space call. And Brooke Diamond O'Brien is going to quickly lose her voice if she keeps shouting like this.
Ball did fall out of the stick at the end there, but I think it was just mishandling as opposed to a shot.
That one, no doubt a shot. It finds the back of the net, and the lead is 9.
Not easy being the Amherst goalkeeper today. I can tell you that.
It's never easy being the away goalkeeper here on Bello, but it's been a day to forget for Samoska in net. 22 shots faced, 17 goals conceded. And a first of the day for the junior Elsa Shutt. As now every Jumbo starter except for Caroline Conahan in the attacking half of the field has scored today. As Conahan gets a drink of water, looks set to come back in momentarily. Gibbons fooled herself with that one. But Joyce with the hustle knocks it down. It's going to roll out of play. Amherst ball. And that is one thing you can definitely credit both teams for. Despite the margin of this game, the effort level is still where it was 3 quarters ago.
There is no doubt about that. Every play is a hustle play on this field.
Spin dodge from Becker. Up top, that's Sosa. Here's Peterson, who's been the engine of this offense. To the X now. Becker working against Cromwell.
Not a lot of movement to work with here.
Gets a step off the top of DeBuren's cage, and it's backed up by Elsa Shutt.
I think if Amherst kept up this isolation play but put somebody behind the net to retain possession, that would have been fine.
What's not fine for them is the way the Jumbos are running in transition. Again, Delaney skips it. And I don't think Mastrobuono was expecting it. She's going to be able to keep it in play. Claps. Through 2. Draws the double, works into the X. Cardin. Up top, Mastrobuono. That's shooting space, and she'll have a chance for a hat trick.
The 3rd hat trick on the Tufts Jumbos today, if it happens.
That would be quite something on senior day. Mastrobuono left of center. And a save down low there by Samoska.
A lot of the shots that have gone in for the Jumbos have been high. So I'm a little surprised that Mastrobuono took the low shot there.
Ball knocks free. Oh, a clamp called on Claps. As Cardin was going to be in. Amherst tried a solo clear. Claps knocked it free. Shutt scooped it up. And then, what's the card? It's going to be Jumbo ball.
That's
and a green card coming out. Diamond O'Brien screaming that it should have been a charge. And she might have been right that Elsa Shutt ran over her woman. The problem with that argument is that Olivia Summers pushed Elsa Shutt into the Amherst attacker, which is what the referee is now telling her.
Summers will spend 1 minute waiting in the chair. Unless she's released.
I have a feeling, and don't hold me to this, that she's not going to be there a full minute. Delaney with the solo clear.
Through 4.
Jumbo's making some substitutions behind the play as they now get set to go in the woman up. Zorn. Mastrobuono works it to Carden near side. Skip pass. Leshley. Mastrobuono fakes the pass. Ended up as a shot. Comfortably caught by Samoska.
Last woman up possession, I believe we saw the Jumbos take it a little slow as well.
Amherst in a little bit of trouble here, but a great spin out of that from Ella Bobbitt. And now Peterson will look to start the clear. Gutman, can Amherst get a goal woman down? No, because they can't put it on frame. Both teams have been able to get good looks coming out of woman down opportunities today. As the wind really whips around Bello.
It's probably a nice breeze for the players, though.
I don't think they're complaining about it. Peterson against Fernanda Poli. That's been the matchup on this side. Inside pass. Bounced off the head of Skylar Lloyd. She went and got the ball. Ran through a defender. And stop me if you've heard it before, but the Jumbos have numbers.
And speed.
Lloyd flying. Down low. Zorn couldn't catch it as coming out of her crease to save the play was Samoska.
Brave play from Samoska there.
And she's
Great
in
job.
trouble now. In a lot of trouble. Amherst might need to call a timeout. Samoska just dumps it. Trying to get back to her cage. And the Jumbos, kind of against Courtney Schute's wishes, are going to slow things down. Substitutions behind the play. Bella Monteleone, another senior, gets on the field defensively. As a bit of a bump, but Mastrobuono able to save the ball. Lloyd to collapse, shoots, and scores. And you can start the running clock.
It's good to see more people on the scoreboard for Tufts. We've seen some 4-game goals from Ali Zorn and Margie Carden. But now there are quite a few more names on this list.
And a timeout from Amherst, and I have to imagine that's going to be to pull the troops and go for a complete line change here. And we'll see if Courtney Shute responds by doing the same, getting the rest of her seniors on the field with the margin now at 8, or excuse me, at 10. 18-8 now. It's part of a larger 18-5 Jumbo run.
I imagine Coach Shute will want to end the game with all the seniors on the field as well.
I don't know. I actually disagree with that take, mainly because I think there are a few. I'm thinking Margie Carden, Jenna Gibbons, Catherine Fernandopoli, who are a little too valuable to have on the field in the final 5 minutes of a 10-goal game, considering this team's larger aspirations.
Okay.
But I do imagine, I would not be surprised if we come out of this timeout and it's all 11 seniors on the field.
I hope to see that. I do hope to see that. I wonder if anything will change on the Amherst side, though.
Well, I can tell you what will not change, and that is on the guys' side. That has gone final from Amherst, 14-5 Jumbos, who moved to 14-0 on the year. They will jump Salisbury in the MPI ranking with the win, going to number 1 in the country, and put themselves in a position where if they win at Bowdoin on Wednesday, the path to a NESCAC title and an NCAA title runs through Bello Fields.
Boy, that would be a privilege.
It would.
I would love to cover some of those games.
Be fun. For the women, their road to hosting NCAA tournament games on Bello is a little more difficult simply because with the alternating priority hosting, it is the men's turn to host the first weekend this year, so they would have to get to the second weekend and have hosting privileges to host an NCAA tournament game. They will be here next weekend to host the NESCAC quarterfinals, against an opponent to be determined.
I do hope we see more home games for the women's team here, though.
Would be a great sight. Maddie Carest on the field for the Jumbos, which means if my math is correct now, all 11 seniors have seen the field today on senior day.
No surprise that Mia Raven is the one to generate this offensive possession here.
Yeah, that will finish it. Carest and Emma Yale on the field. So all 11 seniors get their moment here on senior day. Monteleone to play some defense here against Kate Becker.
Becker not yet. Dodging. Here she goes.
Up top, this is Raven. Skip pass inside. Forced back out. Gutman. Fernanda Pola still on the field. Gets crossed by Gutman, but collapses back defensively.
The Gutman-Fernanda Pole matchup is exciting to watch.
The two fastest feet on the field as Fernanda Pole shows it in real time. Jumbo's flying. Claps. Might want to go herself. Gets run over. And Courtney Shute is screaming that it should be a card. We'll see what the referees decide. Looks like it's just going to be a free position here. And that'll be the end of the day for Catherine Fernanda Pole. Emily Leshkin going to come in for her as Claps makes it 19. So the All-American has put her shift in. The sophomore has her second, and the Jumbos just keep the party train rolling.
Great shot placement from Sophia Claps there too. Offside hip. That's not easy to get to as a goalie. You've got to shift your feet and move your stick from the opposite side over to the left. So Sophia Claps certainly has some experience shooting. We also see some. Do we see some freshmen coming onto the?
We do. That is Annie
field?
Bergeron on the field for the first time today. Gibbons still on the draw circle. Gonna win that one herself. Hammond goes down low for the ball. And Skylar Lloyd comes up with it. Bergeron skips it. That's Maddie Carest. Laps gets a step. Perimeter passing for Tufts as Bergeron. Now it's Collapse, working it up top. Mastrobuono. Cycles, draws the double. Skip pass to the X. Carest, inside feed, picked off by the outstretched stick of Samoska.
Samoska makes some good plays so far this half, or at least this quarter. First stepping out from her goal and then cutting that pass off to the crease.
Numbers potentially for the Mammoths if they go. Ella Shea ahead. Kang will take a jog now. Tried to face dodge on Monteleone. Hard dodge there from Finley. Surveys and resets. Rogers with 4 minutes to play. Space now. Gutman spins back. Draws the double, extra pass. Rogers inside cut. And she gets tripped up. That's going to be a free position. So a chance right of center here for Rachel Rogers. Lot of contact. Work to the far side now. Up top, Gutman rolls right, has a look. DeBuren with the save. And the rebound scooped up by Jenna Gibbons. And she'll find solace and safety in the arms of her keeper.
And the Mammoths are faced with an incoming offensive speed from Tufts.
Bergeron takes the hit. Cycles it out to Mastrobuono. 3 minutes to play. And what's the call? I think a ward? Or no, it's going to be contact to the head, so a yellow on Amherst.
That's Ella Bobbitt, number 4. And now on the far left side, Sophia Claps with a free position.
Claps in, scores! And for the first time in the history of this matchup, the Jumbos put up 20. It has never been done in this matchup until today. And a very good game for Sophia Claps. She has a hat trick despite not seeing the field until the third quarter.
Talk about a difference maker. Taking advantage of the time she has on the field. Using her speed to her advantage.
Jumbo's going to substitute, get more new faces on the field. Catherine Wilson on. Caroline Conahan wants back on the field, and she's going to get it. Looks like they're going to try and get her a goal here on Senior Day. Hammond fighting for it. Won by Amherst. They're going to go. That's Anna Whitworth, the junior from Portland, Oregon. Kang taking her time. As it comes near side to Bridget Darcy. Rogers trying to work against Wilson. Now it's Bergeron's turn to play defense. Skip pass. Step there for Darcy. She can't get an angle. Final minute of the 60. Jumbo's in complete control. Gutman rolls, gets a look, and scores for Amherst.
I think that's exactly what Amherst has been trying to do this whole game. They've had a lot of midfield possession, or at least the offensive possession up at their midfielders, trying to draw everyone over to one side so an alley is open. And then you get a sweep dodge from their best players.
That's a very good analysis there, Marcus. And now the fundamental question becomes, does this draw actually happen before we hit triple zeros here?
And before we hit triple zeros, Riley, Daniel, I just want to congratulate you on your time you've spent as a commentator here at JumboCast.
Well, thank you.
I know this might be your last game, or at least commentating your last women's lacrosse game.
It's been a privilege. Final score here at Bello. The Jumbos, with a picture-perfect Senior Day, win 20-9 behind a hat trick from Sophia Claps and 4 goals each from Zorn and Cardin. They move to 13-1 on the year and put themselves squarely back in the national discussion. We're going to step aside momentarily. When we come back, we'll have a post-game interview and sign off here from Senior Day on Bello. Welcome back here, Postgame. Riley Dana here with Margie Carden. And Margie, what a day. Senior day here on Bello against Amherst. Just walk me through the emotion of this one.
Yeah, I don't know. It was so special from the moment that we walked into the locker room. We had a lot of energy going into the game. My class takes up a lot of the team, so we knew not just this game, but every game we bring the energy. We decide how we're going to start. A little rocky in the beginning, but I think just leaning into what we know, leaning on each other, and bringing the energy. Yeah, it was a fantastic day. And I know in the past sometimes we struggle with Amherst, so this I think meant a lot to us. Back and forth the last couple of years we played them, but this game I think was the most we scored in a game. So,
It was the program record, the first time anyone has scored 20 goals in that matchup.
oh wow. Okay.
It was a tough start. You
Yes.
guys, it felt like there was a lot of adrenaline pumping. What did Coach Shute say in that first time out when you guys were down 3-0 that just allowed you guys to reset so quickly?
Yeah, I just don't think we were in the present moment. I think there's a lot of festivities going on, a lot of distractions. Our minds were still what was going on 20 minutes ago. We weren't reacting to what they were giving us. We were letting them dictate the style of the play, and we know that's not how we wanted to start, and that's not the standard we have. So just letting go of all the distractions and really playing our game.
Let's talk about a moment you guys were really in the moment. That last 30 seconds of the first half.
Yeah.
It started, you guys were up to with 30 seconds to go. That all out 10-woman ride, Jenna with the turnover, and you guys get 3 goals in 30 seconds, capped off by Skylar throwing the ball into the net, which I don't really know how much she knew about that.
No. Yeah, I think one thing we can always rely on is our speed. We talk about pace a lot these last couple of weeks, especially after last weekend. Some adjustments we can make, and it's just how fast we play. I think if we're all going top speed, no team can scout us, and as soon as we start to slow down, we know we need to step on the gas a little bit. In those last 30 seconds, we do it all the time in practice, knowing we can put away 3 goals plus.
Now, what's the mentality? You guys, as a senior class, have done pretty much everything, the most wins of any class in program history. But there's one kind of check mark that's left to be checked off, and that's a national title. Is that the goal, or are you guys still trying to keep it one day at a time until you get there?
Yeah, I think we talked a lot about this in the beginning of the season. Definitely one day at a time, but if we take care of the little things, then that should be the end goal. That should be where we're ending up at the end of the day. Definitely have still a lot to learn from in practice, just really trying to focus on little things because mistakes can compound and trying to get the better of them, making sure we're showing up as the best version of ourselves.
Well, that was definitely true today. Go celebrate.
Yeah, thank you, Riley. Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy senior day, too.
Thank you.
We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. And for all of you at home, I just want to say, as I sign off here on Senior Day, it has been an absolute privilege to cover this team for 4 years. I would not trade it for the world. And for my crew here, for Marcus and John and Jason and Catherine, I've been Riley Daniel signing off for the final time here from Bellafield. And as always, stay home safely.